The Supreme Court's order to civic bodies in Delhi-NCR to relocate all stray dogs living in residential neighbourhoods to shelter has sparked a massive debate. While animal lovers have slammed the ruling as inhumane, others have welcomed it and cited incidents of stray dogs attacking children and the elderly. And amidst the raging debate, a key question looms large. Can the Supreme Court order be implemented? We look at the challenges ahead, but first up, take a look at how the lawmakers and the celebrities have reacted to what is now being seen as a controversial order.
The Supreme Court's order to remove all stray dogs from Delhi streets has unleashed a wave of strong reactions. While animal welfare groups call it unscientific, others see it as a long overdue safety measure.
I see this judgment of the Supreme Court as a draconian judgment, in one word. The removal and the captivity of stray dogs in pounds which does not exist as of now, it is absolutely unscientific and it is not doable. It is not achievable at any point.
This order that Supreme Court has passed, it is illogical, illegal, impractical and definitely inhumane. It is the requirement of the law to sterilize the dogs and to not move them. Like I said, Delhi is home to 10 lakh dogs. It is impractical to imagine that 10 lakh dogs could be put in a shelter, as they are calling it. It's basically a jail.
Order is absolutely impractical and inhumane. While I do appreciate the concern about dog biting and rabies, if you think about it, this is entirely out of line with animal birth control rules of 2023. There are other countries that have tried stray relocation, like China and Turkey and Sri Lanka and even Brazil, and it's always failed. If you think about the Delhi-NCR region, conservatively there are 3 lakh dogs. They're going to require 1,000 shelters. Where is the infrastructure for this kind of thing going to come from?
Pet lovers argue the order is driven by anger, not evidence. Social media is flooded with criticism, saying mass relocation will neither solve the menace nor ensure the animals' welfare. It's not just activists. Bollywood stars Janhvi Kapoor, Varun Dhawan, Vijay Verma, Tiger Shroff and Sanya Malhotra have called the order heartbreaking, questioning the lack of arrangements for such a massive drive. Actor and dog dad John Abraham has written to the Chief Justice, urging a review, calling the order illegal, impractical and inhumane. From Rahul Gandhi to Priyanka Chaturvedi to Maneka Gandhi, politicians across party lines have joined the chorus of criticism. But victims of dog attacks say the court's order offers hope. They believe public safety must come first.
समस्या बहुत गंभीर हो चुकी थी. हर गली मोहल्ले में, सिर्फ दिल्ली की बात नहीं है, पूरे देश भर में इस प्रकार की समस्याएं आ रही है और ख़ास तौर से जो छोटे बच्चे हैं वो इस खतरे को महसूस कर रहे थे. पेरेंट्स इस बात से बहुत परेशान थे.
देखिए ये फैसला बहुत अच्छा है. इससे क्या है कि जितने भी आवारा शवाने स्ट्रीट डॉग हैं वो बहुत ज़्यादा संख्या में बढ़ गए हैं. बच्चों को ज़्यादा टारगेट करते हैं वो, और बड़े बाइक सवार हो या कुछ भी उनको पकड़ लेना, उससे एक्सीडेंट्स के केसेस बढ़ जाते हैं. बच्चों के साथ कई बार अब सीसीटीवी फुटेज अब देख चुके हैं, मीडिया में भी आ चुका है.
I think it's an excellent judgment. On behalf of countless families, I would like to express deep gratitude to the Supreme Court of India on this compassionate directive to ensure that, they are taking care of the stray dogs. It's not just an order, it's a life savior for us. And I really commend the Supreme Court's decision for reacting on the urgency of the situation and with full resolve and glory.
NDTV's sustained coverage of every attack, every victim's plea and every unanswered question brought the issue to national attention, now sparking a bigger debate than ever. The Supreme Court's order has split opinion. Is it timely or tough? The debate is on. Now India needs a credible policy on shelters or sterilization. The problem's clear. The solution can't stray. With Malvika Murali, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Some piece of breaking news coming in now. The Madurai bench of the Madras High Court has observed that it would direct the Tamil Nadu government to implement the Supreme Court order on street dogs for Delhi. In fact, the Madras High Court has said that implement Supreme Court's order in Tamil Nadu as well. And how can this order be implemented is the big question, and what are the challenges? Let's bring in the guests now. Urvashi Prasad is a public health expert. Aman Lekhi is a senior advocate of the Supreme Court. We have Priya Chetty Rajgopal, who is a prominent citizen, and Dr. Anurag Agarwal is professor of PEDS, General Secretary Consortium Against Rabies. Aman Lekhi, starting with you. There are a lot of questions that are being asked vis-a-vis this order. That has the Supreme Court really answered the challenges in terms of who will feed these 10 lakh dogs, keep them disease-free, where is the budget, where is the infrastructure, and the execution capability?
Absolutely. You see, playground decrees and whimsicalities, which are quite common in this country today, fanciful fixes can't actually address this particular issue. And I'll flag 4 issues which are wrong and then deal with this matter. 1, the occasion for the suo moto action was based on anecdotal evidence with no prior authentication. So that is not, and whatever in the social media, that the video is actually not what is presented to be. In any case, in the time of deep fakes, when we have these pixelated versions of manufactured reality, for the court to act upon something without authenticating it, verifying it, is instead suspect. 1. 2, the procedure which the Supreme Court adopted is wrong, because what the Supreme Court did is it heard only the amicus and the Solicitor General, and it actually shut out the others. It said, no, we are not going to hear them. Now, the purpose for hearing is to have a contrary point of view. That's what a judicatory process is. That's what an open court hearing is, and that is what the process actually entails. So procedurally, it was incorrect. 3, now, as far as this particular issue is concerned, this is a nuanced issue. It's a multi-layered issue. You cannot possibly be reductionist in this approach and have a naivete about it, in the sense that you just trivialize the whole thing, because what is at stake is essentially the question of urban ecology, public health. And what is relevant is, and what the Supreme Court's order does not do, is 1, deal with the statutory design. Now, it rubbishes the statutory design, saying we don't agree with it. Now, it's not for the Supreme Court to say we don't agree with the law. It is for the Supreme Court to follow the law till the law is challenged. 1. 2, as far as the precedent is concerned, there's a discipline to court hearings. That's the precedents. There's a prior precedents directing action contrary to what the Supreme Court has ordered, which will create a very Kafkaesque approach. Supreme Court says something, the MCD to follow this has to violate the law. This is not the purpose of this particular, the process itself. 3, now as far as this particular issue is concerned, this is very important. Now, insofar as the statutory design, as I said, and precedent is concerned, has to be in some way balanced with the problems which this order will actually entail, and which you flagged that. That is, how do you deal with these dogs?
Right.
Because you don't have the infrastructural facility. Now, it won't be like Mary Poppins' bag of infinity, that the MCD or local authority will just push their hand in it, and lo and behold, all facilities will come, the money will come, the infrastructure will come, the shelters will come,
right,
the canine experts will come. What will happen? And the guise of taking care of the dogs, what's going to happen? You're going to kill them. Now, as far as the dogs are concerned, and this is the stinging criticism I want to make of the Supreme Court, it ignores the fact that dogs are sentient beings. It is a fact. Now, they have some intrinsic worth and value. You cannot just treat them as some instrumental thing. This approach is alien to Indian psyche. We follow deep ecology.
Yes.
Now, this is, I feel, an anthropocentric order, and that I actually say, which sees it from a perspective which is incorrect. And there are multiple flaws, both in the decision and in the process.
Okay. Urvashi, you have made a passionate argument, and, you of course say that this Supreme Court's order is not humane, because, these are voiceless creatures, and why should they be seen as criminals here?
Yeah, Maria, actually, even aside from the humanity aspect, because I'm a public health professional and, I've dealt with issues related to rabies and various other public health issues as well, I can say that this is also very unscientific. It is not based in any kind of evidence. Various countries around the world have tried this kind of either mass culling or mass relocation, and it has failed. And we know with our kind of implementation capabilities, how are we really going to run these shelters, maintain these shelters? We know that we are actually pretty pathetic at running shelters, whether it's for humans or for animals. So, firstly, the cruelty, yes, to the animals, but also from a scientific point of view, if you're going to remove these dogs, other dogs are going to move in eventually into this territory. Your problem of rabies is not going to be solved unless you can do the sterilization and the vaccination at scale, which we failed to do. For several decades, we have known that this solution exists. And it is a far more cost-effective solution than trying to spend 15 to 20,000 crores is what some estimates suggest you will need in terms of actually setting up shelters for relocating such a large number of dogs. So I think from a purely scientific and public health point of view as well, I would say that there is no basis to an order like this, and it's not going to solve the problem of rabies. It's not going to solve the problem of attacks if that is what the Supreme Court is setting out to do.
All right, Dr. Anurag Agarwal, if it will not solve the problem of rabies and the animal attacks, which multiple videos have surfaced in recent times, then what really is the purpose of this exercise?
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank the Supreme Court for flagging this important issue. See, now the intent is there from the judiciary and it is nudging the lower courts to take some action. So first of all, look at the intent. It is positive. I know that sheltering thousands and lakhs of dogs in 8 weeks is not practically possible. But yes, we have to move forward in some direction. The government agencies have to wake up. They have to allocate funds. They have to make a plan and present it to the court as to how will they approach this problem. Till now, it is an ad hoc approach. There are some NGOs here and there who are catching dogs, vaccinating, neutering, and leaving them at the site. And then the lot of NGOs come up, the dog lover NGOs who are ready with some kind of a legal notice whenever any resident of the society wants to take some action against getting bitten by a dog or something. So it is ultimately, the court felt tired. What is going on? Day in and day out, there are multiple problems because of dog bite. And then there are people coming to say that, no, we are dog lovers and we will not allow any action against canines. So we need a sea change in the attitude towards this problem. Number one, we need to stop feeding the dogs anywhere we feel like. Feeding a 5 rupee biscuit packet to a dog is not becoming a dog lover. We are causing more harm than good. Number two, open drainage system wherein the dog gets water to drink. People feeding milk. See, for any population to thrive, it needs what? Food, water, and environment. Environment we cannot change, but providing food everywhere and anywhere, open dumps, open sources of water, this population is bound to grow, and that is the reason this population has grown. So we need to have a change there. Now, talking about rabies, you want to control rabies? We have the Goa model. Goa has eliminated at least controlled rabies. There is zero rabies for last 4 years in Goa. How did they do it? They had animal vaccination. So if you are able to vaccinate 70% of strays in the area, the chain of transmission of rabies stops. So that is one way of controlling rabies. Our problem is twofold. One is managing rabies. Second is controlling dog population and removing them from streets. Second, the way out is that you go for animal birth control. So ABC measures, very difficult, not easy, costing you 2,400 rupees per dog to be neutered. And with the millions of dogs on the street, it will take years before we are anywhere close to the target with the amount of infrastructure we have. So yes, the court has said, move quickly do something. We want to save our kids. We want to have a road which is free of dogs. You can walk around in the evening, in the nights, your kids can play around. I think the court felt that whatever you do, but do something. So that is the approach the court has taken. Let the measures come in, let the ideas come in, let us have the One
Ms.
Health approach.
Rajagopal. Your thoughts on this entire ongoing debate? Of course, it has taken this form, and rightly so. There are a lot of dog lovers who feel that this entire exercise is as unfair and it's inhumane as well.
Maria, is that for me?
Yes, ma'am, that's for you.
I missed that bit, yes. Thank you, Dr. Agrawal, for pointing out the success of the Goa operations and the fact that they have made themselves a rabies-free union territory after a very long time, and a lot of great work is therefore possible. My question is that while certainly there is an issue of concern for human life, and I completely agree with you on that, the other part of it is, why is it that the dogs are paying for the ineffectiveness and inefficiency of the municipal corporations throughout India who have not been able to implement the ABC ARV as per the ABC rules, which was started in 2003 and then again in 2023. So there is a certain sense of complete imbalance as to who's paying for what. The second limited observation I have is we are a nation of very reasonably compassionate people. We've got a lot of space in our hearts, and we understand that there are always going to be pushes and gives as far as living in peaceful human-animal coexistence. But the solution to it is, as all my panelists have pointed out, is very strong. And what I think really concerns many of us who are middle of the road and trying to sort of look at both sides. I have been a proponent very strongly of human-animal coexistence. So what we do, and based in Bangalore, we're working very strong through the system of canine squads to completely focus on human-animal coexistence through neuter and vaccination. And we're doing it as aggressively as we possibly can. So many areas, almost 100% neuter and so on. And so it's possible, but it takes time. It has been a long time that the municipal authorities have been actually very, very, have been very poor in terms of the implementation. And this is what we're paying for. The Supreme Court has always been a great friend and a great supporter in all its orders, in everything that it's done so far, in terms of course, recognizing human life, but also recognizing the voiceless. So this has been certainly a huge setback for everyone. Okay. I'm going to repeat a few things that we already have said. Okay. As people who have been I've been on the ground. I'm very cognizant of both sides. I have spent, and I just want to be able to share with you that I've spent a large part of my life being very, very scared of dogs. And I have moved forward maybe 20 years ago. So I deeply respect the concerns that people have about animals on the street. And I do understand that there could be concerns and fears, but there are ways of going about it. And I think we're going about it so far the right way.
Okay, I have just enough time for Aman Lekhi. Aman Lekhi, now that the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court has gone ahead and said that the Supreme Court's order must be implemented, perhaps similar orders will be coming from courts across the country. What really is the way out? Because you feel that this entire judgment is very, very harsh.
No, it's not harsh. I feel this particular judgment is wrong. It's both wrong in law. It's in disregard of precedent, and insofar as the science which this particular subject entails, it is completely averse to that. So, as far as what we have to do with this is, I personally feel that we have to petition the Supreme Court again. We have to persuade the Supreme Court to revisit this particular decision. This seems to be part of a narrative building. And a narrative building which is adverse to a particular point of view. Just like the videos which you are showing, they can be, very conveniently you have these videos of dogs attacking in an age of deep fakes. In an age of deep fakes, when this can be in some way digitally altered to show something. And as an institution, I personally feel the Supreme Court has to be a bit more circumspect, particularly when it takes up a matter suo moto. And these are not matters. We have got the statute in place. We've got years of jurisprudence in place. We've got experts in this particular field who are there. No one has been heard. and this has been a hasty decision which has actually moved towards a finality, which is now being in some way followed by all the other courts, when those who can actually contribute to what everyone wants, a meaningful discussion so that we can actually have a correct solution to a problem, are excluded from the entire process. This is not the way we expect the court to behave, because the purpose of a court is to accommodate all views, which it has not done in the instant case.
All right, Aman Lekhi, P.R. Rajgopal, Urvashi Prasad and Dr. Agarwal, really appreciate your time. Of course, we are going to see several chapters in this debate. We did see protests happen at India Gate last evening. This remains our top focus here on NDTV. We are putting out this entire debate on ndtv.com. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.